It's Fahad, and I will be explaining the use case diagram of hostel management system. In this use case diagram, we have five actors: the user, visitor, system admin, hostel owner, and hostel warden. The visitor can perform the following tasks. He can search for the hostel, view hostel facilities, and sign up. But if he wants to book a room, he must sign up. When a visitor signs up, he will become the user, and a user can book a room and update his profile info and also sign in. The system admins are the developers. They can perform the following tasks: they can manage the database, they can remove the hostel, and they can approve hostel requests. Coming to the hostel owner, a hostel owner signs up and then he can update the hostel facilities, request to register a hostel, he can view the warden reports, and also assign the warden. The warden will perform the following tasks: he can search allottees, manage beds, manage rooms, manage hostel cleaning, manage hostel mess, and collect cash payments. He can also produce monthly reports. Now I will be explaining the sequence diagram of sign up. In this diagram, the user requests a sign up and enters the email. The email validity is checked and then he will enter the password. Then a password validity is checked and the sign up is completed. Then the user will add the profile information and the profile information is added. Now I will explain the sequence diagram of sign in. In this diagram, the user requests a sign in, he enters the email validity is checked, and then he enters the password. The password validity is checked, and then a user is signed in successfully. Now I will explain the sequence diagram to register a hostel. In this diagram, the hostel owner will request a register hostel registration. He will enter the email and the email validity is checked. Then he will enter the password and the password is validated. Then the hostel owner will enter the hostel details. The request will be sent to the system admin. The system admin will review the reports and then he will accept the request or disapprove the request. Then the hostel information is added to the database and the database updates the hostel information and the registration is completed. In this, I will be explaining the use case diagram of room book. The user will request login and enters the email and password. The email and password is validated and then he searches for room. The rooms available will shown to him and then he books a room. The request is sent to the warden. The warden will accept the request and then he will add the card details. The user when After the user enters the card details, the payment is validated through the bank and the room is booked. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Myself Asmadullah. Today I will describe some of the examples of activity and package diagram. So our first example is login or update profile info. We will log in into our system and in case of any error we will log in again. In case of successful login we will visit our profile and after that we will reach a new state which is update profile. We can update our profile into the four ways. We can update it as our username or password or profile picture or personal information, and after that successful updation we will just simply log out from our system. In case of any failure we will again visit our profile and perform the updation. And we have the second example, which is making a payment. So first of all, again we will log in into our system. In case of any failure we will again log in, and after that successful login will reach a state which is making a payment. So making a payment can be done into the two ways, or it can be done by the two persons, whether it is a user or it can be a owner. User can make his payment into the two ways, credit card or cash, and owner can make it in the online way. So after that, we have a new state which is sending money. So we'll send our money to make our payment successful. In case of any failure, we will send it again. And after that, our activity diagram is finished. Here we have our third activity diagram, which is register hostel. So how we will register our hostel, we will show. First of all, we will log in into our system. In case of any new user, we'll sign up and after that we will log in. And in case of successful login, we will register our hostel. After that, we will enter our hostel information. It can be our location, rooms, beds, mess, rent. And after that, we will request for the approval. Our request will be our approval will be reviewed and after that our hostel will be registered. Here we have the third example. Here we have the fourth example, which is booking a room. First of all, we will log in into our system, and in case of new user, as previously, we will sign up and then log in. And after that, we have a new state which is searching hostel. And after searching some specific hostels, we will see some of the facilities which the hostels are providing. After that, we will check the availability, and in case of any availability, we will make our payment. In case of no availability, we will again search the hostels. So we can make our payment into the two ways. We can make it through the cash or through the credit card. And in case of any failure, we will make our payment again. And in case of successful payment, our room will be booked. Now we will describe our next diagram, which is package diagram. So why we draw the package diagram? In case of complex class diagram, we will carry out all those classes which are logically related and make them as packages. And here we have a package diagram of a hostel management system, and in which we have different classes as packages, and these all are interrelated. The arrows drawn in this diagram are basically showing the dependency among these packages. How we can say that there is a dependency among packages? So if there is a change in one package, it will make it happen in the second package. So this is what our package diagram is all about.
And this is Shalam, and I will be explaining the class diagram of hostel management system. A class diagram basically represents the static view of a system with active classes. In this class diagram, there are several different classes with some sort of relationship with each other. First of all, there are some classes for actors in the system. There is a person class that works as an abstract class. It has a relationship of inheritance with visitor, hostel owner, hostel warden, and system admin class. Similarly, a Lottie class is a child class of visitor class. Remaining classes in the system are hostel, room, bed, mess, mess item, report, database, and payment class. A Lottie class has aggregation relation with hostel class as well as multiplicity relation. This multiplicity relation can be described as there can be one to many allottees for a hostel. The hostel class has a relation of composition with room, bed, and mess class. In the same way, mess item class also has a relation of composition with mess class. Payment class has a relation of association with hostel owner and allottee class as only the allottee and hostel owner can pay in this system. Hostel warden class has a relation of realization with report class because hostel warden can generate the reports such as complaints for the hostel owner to verify. At the end, the database class has different relations with all the classes in the system. These relations describe functionality, for example, deletion, updation, or creation in the database.
This is Ali Hamza and I will be explaining the component diagram of hostel management system. There are several components with some sort of relationship with each other. First of all, we have hostel management system component, which consists of several components like hostels, rooms, beds, rent, allottees, payment, mess, and reports. We also have four more components like security, persistent, payment verification, and database, which provide some sort of functionalities to the previously described components. These all components require access point and security from security component and persistent component. Our payment component require encryption and access point from payment verification component. At the end, we have our database component, which will provide database related functionalities to these components through persistent component and security component.